Hello, my name is Danielle Kayembe. Such a pleasure to be here. As our host said, I'm an entrepreneur who works on projects around women, social impact, and Africa. Now, I was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo. For those of you that don't know where that is, it's in Central Africa, and it's the country that looks like the profile of Abraham Lincoln. So a few things about Congo. We're known for having a lot of mineral wealth, and we're also known for taking our music and fashion very seriously. So the top that I'm wearing today, I actually had custom made for me on one of my trips to Kinshasa. So in case you don't believe me, this is how men dress in the Congo. This is a Tuesday afternoon in Kinshasa. This is how women dress, everything custom made. And this is, what you would wear to like a Thursday cocktail hour. Now, as you can tell, this piece that I'm wearing is completely unique. It's custom made. The tailor took about 18 different measurements when she made it. And as a woman, I can tell you that it was one of the single best experiences of my life when I was buying something. It was one of the few times I didn't have to buy something 2 sizes bigger in order to make sure that it fit. The experience was unique for another reason. It was the first time that I owned an item of clothing that was specifically made for me by another woman. I believe that women are currently the largest underserved global market. Now, women control 80% of consumer spending. We make 70% of major financial decisions. And in the US alone, we control 14 trillion in assets and 36 trillion in assets globally. However, as women, almost all of the products and services that we use are created, designed, built, and sold to us by men. Men dominate the business of business. So women have less access to capital. Women only receive about 15% of venture capital funding. Women are excluded from most of the economic and business conferences that happen globally. And out of 1,500 S&P CEOs, there are fewer female CEOs than there are CEOs named John. I believe that in the next 10 years, women will become the single largest global market, and that we will become the largest global economic engine for growth. Now, by taking a look at this graph, you can see that in 2014, women were the second largest economy in the world, after the US, and far surpassing China. Now, this chart doesn't take into account the fact that women are being paid 25 to 40% less than men, and that women globally do 4.5 hours of unpaid labor every day. So I believe that there is a rising female-driven economy, and I define this as products and services created by women for other women. Now, one of the things that I find the most exciting is that a lot of the new female entrepreneurs are creating new models that have impact at the core. So one of the great new companies that I've seen is a company called Thinx. They make, it's a fashion tech company that makes underwear that you wear during your period. So they are tackling impact in 2 ways. The first is that for each pair that you buy, you support education for a girl in Africa. The second is that they are essentially eliminating the environmental impact of disposable hygiene products. Another company is called Watermelon Water, which tackles the food waste problem. You may or may not know that anywhere from 1/3 to half of all food, all produce, is actually disposed for cosmetic reasons. So not only has Jody created one of the fastest growing organic juice companies, but she is also helping organic farmers make 30 to 50% more every year. Another company that's in this space is Jessica Alba and her Honest company. So as a new mom, she was shocked to realize that everything from diapers to detergents were full of toxic chemicals. In less than 5 years, Honest Company is now worth over $1 billion. Now, these are a few examples that I gave, but the opportunity, I believe, is huge because every single industry is ripe for disruption. In the healthcare space, you might not know, but the leading cause of death for women is actually heart disease. There's a French company called Carmat, and they make an artificial heart. Now, while their heart fits 86% of men, only fits 20% of women. In the tech space, there's a company called Fitbit. Fitbit is one of the most popular bio trackers that you can buy. Now, they have about 38 million users, and the entire universe of bio trackers, including Nike and Jawbone and Apple, is over 100 million users. When all of these companies launched their bio trackers, not one of them included a period tracker, even though 50% of their users are women. That's a huge oversight. Another area that's ripe for disruption is media. Even though women use and share news and information 63% more than men, if you look at the top 6 news sites, 60 to 70% of the photos, the stories, and the content is about men. That means that most of our media is men talking to men about other men. Now, one of the things that we realize when we start to go deeper is that we live in a world that seems to have been designed without women. So one of the things that I'm sure a lot of women are familiar with is that they struggle to open doors when they're in a city, when they're going in or out of a building. The reason is that doors are designed for the tensile strength of an average-sized man. Another example, how many ladies here have ever waited for a restroom? Okay, every hand went up. The reason is that men do one thing in a restroom while women do 5. We may use the bathroom, change our clothes, do our makeup, and change a baby. What both of these examples show is that our cities, our buildings, and even our transportation networks suffer from poor design because women weren't part of the planning process. So what is the impact of all of this? So if we actually started to change and allow women full participation, what would happen? So a recent study by McKinsey suggests that if women began to participate equally in the economy and to earn the same as men, it would contribute $28 trillion to the global economy. In addition, closing the gender gap would add 12% to the GDP of most Western countries. What does this mean for you? It means that your pain points as a woman are actually signals for creativity and signals for innovation. You can use your experiences to inform what you do in terms of creating your business, your career, or future entrepreneurial ventures. I believe that every woman here has the opportunity to completely reshape the world that you live in and the world that generations of women to come will live in. I think you can change the daily lives of women to be more comfortable, more productive, and more efficient. And you can do it with impact. Every pain point you experience as a woman is a massive business opportunity that has never occurred to not one of the Fortune 500 CEOs named John, Mark, or James. So let's get to work, ladies. The future is female.